Hi guys, so this is the really long-awaited Ritual Beast deck profile. I really apologize, but I've had super exams, I had 2 today, and I haven't had time to do anything I want to do, which is kind of annoying. But I thought, you know what, I finally got some time, I'm not doing art, I'll do this! I'll finally get this done. This is one of my favourite decks at the moment, tied only to the beloved Sylvans. And it can get a little bit linear. I know a lot of people don't like this because the turns take a very long time, but they're quite technical. If you like to think through your plays in advance and think about, yeah, the kind of where you get off your combos is really crucial. A lot of people cheat with this deck, unfortunately. A lot of people play it fast and special summon the monsters twice in a turn or whatever. But hopefully you can learn, if you're not planning on building the deck, you can learn a bit about it and tell how to not let your opponent cheat, basically. But yeah, I really love the deck. So I'm just gonna, I actually have a synchro build and I really like it, and it helps, I think it helps quite a lot with some of the issues the deck has. And I'll go through why I've chosen a lot of the stranger options that I have, and yeah, so I'ma just start. So monster lineup, the tamers are pretty ordinary really. 1 Lara, because now we have the Zephyr Piliga, 3 Elder, and Zephyr Piliga, and then the 2 Wen. I think this is just the really basic tamer lineup. You'll get this from pretty much every deck profile except for bad ones, or innovative ones, you know, I'm open to new ideas. And the beast, you have the 3 Canahawk, he's the fantastic main engine. Here's my slightly customized, I'll put that to the back, slightly customized Rampengus. I actually won the tournament with this weird ass Rampengu that I sharpied all over. Rampengu has gone up so much in my regard since the ulti Gaia Pelio came out. So now you can send tamers to the graveyard. And I'm now running ambush at 3 because just this on your first turn plus ambush equals next turn plays, whereas before you'd have to open Canahawk and ambush could get quite cloggy. I run the 2 Apelio. I love Apelio. I think it's actually really underrated monster in the deck. And it just extends your plays so nicely. It's also quite nice for just beating over certain problem cards. Yeah, I really like it. And I actually run 2 of the Patelfin. A lot of people only run 1. The reason I run 2 is you'll be using Rampengu a lot in the deck, and you don't want to run out of the extra egg monsters you're going to use, mainly Ulti Gaia Pelio and Ulti Canahawk. So I run 2 of the Patelfin so that if you draw into 1, you can still send as cost for Rampengu. And I think it's actually really underrated in that you can banish something from your hand to extend your plays and destroy a card on the field, which bounce it to hand, which I think is really nice, and also again can just get over some problem cards. The deck at the moment has a problem with things that can't be destroyed because obviously your main way around things is steeds. So I actually use Patelfin's effect quite a lot, especially with the Canahawk searching. You search out a monster you want banished so you can extend your plays, banish it with Patelfin, extend them. It's really good. Onto my tuners, I run 1 Krebons for BL's plays. I think the deck actually has a really big problem against wall monsters, and what better, I genuinely think BL's is the best attacker in the game, basically. And it's really easy to make. I make it on a consistent basis whenever I need it. Yeah, I personally think Krebons is a better choice than Yuki Usagi at the moment, and I know that's really controversial, but Yuki Usagi's really kind of overrated. I think it's really overhyped. The only matchups it's really good against is like the mirror and the clean matchup, and that's just that's not very good. BL's is really nice against things like volcanics. They can't, people forget if you take effect damage, the BL's gets the effect damage, so you're getting like 1500 and it can't be destroyed off the Shell and the Scatter Shot, which is really nice. And then the last tuner, I run Birdman. Now, this, I haven't seen anyone else play, forgive me if I'm wrong, I haven't seen anyone else play this card. This card is insane. This card is so good in this deck, and I don't understand why people don't run it. It gets the 500 boost when it returns a monster to their hand. You basically decontact or ambush in your opponent's end phase, get the effect of your beast, whatever it is, usually Canahawk. I usually do this with Lara and Canahawk. And you, in your next turn, bounce the Tamer, summon the Birdman, go for a 7, normal summon, you can Black Rose the field if you haven't got any Black Rose. Black Rose the field, normal summon your tamer, get back your beast. Just make a fusion. Like, this late game is crazy. You can make Clearwing, you can make Yazi, you can make all these things pretty much for free. And, you know, if I open it first turn, usually I'll end up using it. You know, it's barely dead. It's only at 1. It's the same as the Cryobombs. People are like, does this not come dead? I'm like, no. Like, how much normal summoning do you actually do late game anyway? If this is in your hand, you'll typically get rid of it. Like, but anyway, the Birdman is the real MVP of this deck. Honestly, if you're not using it, I'd give it such a try. It's fantastic. Being able to free Black Rose whenever you want, being able to free Yazi, Clearwing, whatever, so good. I really love it. Yeah, so spells. I run the 3 E-Tally because I'm running a tuner. It's never dead. Honestly, I don't see why you wouldn't run 3. The only fault is that it prohibits you from special summoning this monster you summon. It's like, honestly, I do not understand why. Like, if you can get a first turn fusion, you're gonna do it. Gold Sock, really, really lovely to open with when, really, to get to your if you need to just set and Gold Sock, wait out the L, the Cannon Hawk, whatever, just do it. Like, I think Gold Sock's really nice in the deck. I'm not running Foolish anymore because Rampengu is so much better. This also sets up Ambush, which is nice. Book of Moon, protect your normal summon effects. Yeah, Regeki, staple, lovely. D-Fisher, really, really great to open Rampengu. I honestly think this is so nice. And it lets your searches go off so hard. And this might seem weird, I run 1 MST and my reason for this is, whenever I don't run at least 1 MST in a deck, there isn't room for more, unless you're siding, which I do side into more removal. I also side into Yu-Gi-Oh! Salgis, Veilers, whatever, but I do not main them because there's so many matchups that they're just trash. And yeah, the 1 MST tends to just be enough to get around that 1 Vanities, which this deck is really hates. So I don't know, I just run the 1 MST and it seems to be fine. It seems really strange, I do know, but it's tried and tested, so. 3 Ritual Beast Ambush, you'll have to forgive me, I'm proxying 1 Ambush because I was only running 2 before Ulti Guy Paleo came out. And now I'm running 3, and honestly, it's one of those commons that I just cannot find. What's that, isn't it? Secrets of Eternity, which nobody bought. So I can't find this in my friend group, and I can't, like, on my locals or anything, nobody has it with them. It's just really annoying. I'm gonna have to buy one online, which is just absolutely pathetic, so, yeah. And then the 3 Steeds. These are your searchable traps. They are ridiculous, and they make your plays just insane. Really nice to open the traps, and yeah. I run 2 Mirror Force. I know a lot of people probably are questioning this as you have Steeds, but what I found is actually the Mirror Force as well is really nice because Steeds is an inherently better destruction trap. But the Mirror Force can be nice to open first turn if you want to protect. Maybe, you know, maybe you're waiting for a tamer to be in your hand. A lot of people don't see it coming at the moment, and this actually won me the finals of my locals the other day, which I came first in. And it was Yosenju, so I was just like, flip the Mirror Force, GG. Macrocosmos, I still run this in the main. Don't see why you wouldn't. People are saying like, oh, but it's not good against like the Mirror or Yosenju. It's like, okay, how many times do you go up against that as opposed to, let's think, okay, Necros, Cleese, Shadols, absolutely despise this card. Burning Abyss, a lot of Shadols have stopped running things like MST, so this thing just lives. It's so good. Torrential Tribute, really great removal, especially if you go into the Dolphin. It's the same thing as Black Rose really as well. You can actually just have the Pink Dolphin in defense position as you Black Rose the field and just be like, okay, extend my plays, let's keep going. The 1 Warning and Compulse, which is nice for returning your Tamers if you need to get a new playoff. And the Bottomless Trap Hole. I just think the 1-ups are really nice, and we're running a deck that needs to protect. We need to stall until we get to those players. So yeah, that's my trap lineup. Onto extra deck, we have 2 Ulti Guy Paleo. This is mainly just to send with Rampengu. I don't run bonds of this ritual, is it Spirit Beast or Ritual Beast? Because it just came dead in my hands so much. I honestly think that card is really just cloggy, even at 1. I just didn't find it very good. But the two Ulti Guy Paleos is enough, and sometimes I do actually go into it with the traditional way of going into it, but not too much. 3 ulti Cannonhawk, main searcher of the deck. If you send with, you only really need 1 at any given point, but it's always nice to have 2 in case one happens to 1, and you know, it gets warninged or whatever. And the other one to send with Rampengu, so 3 is really needed. Same logic really with this guy. And the 2 Patelfin, and here's the BLs for the Crybons plus a fusion. Usually just like a, if I have a clogged board usually with like the fusions that can't do contact late game, I'll just go into BLs and it'll be like, okay, cool. Now, I am fully aware I have 3 7s here, which actually makes my extra deck up to 16 cards. I have Clearwing Synchro Dragon, Yazi, and Black Rose. Obviously, Black Rose is almost undeniably the best 7 in the game. But then I have Yazi and Clearwing, and I'm actually finding it really, really hard to pick between the 2. I gotta give a shout out here to my absolute bae, Connor Alabaster. You are just the greatest. I hope I said your name right, or that's gonna be really embarrassing. He sent me these cards, and I really needed them for this deck profile so I could just get it out sooner. And he did send me them, and they're nice ultis, and they're beautiful, and thank you very much. Anyways, and they're in my nice pretty sleeves. Clearwing, the only really thing that I found better than Yazi, like, I like being able to get a lot of attack out of the 7 I go for, because pushing the game is usually why you're using the Birdman. It's just an extended play, you just get another monster. The Clearwing has less attack, but it can gain attack through negating an effect monster's effect. The only time that I find this really useful, because you can do contact with your other monsters, is I only find this really useful against Construct. I like the Yazi because it can also Scrap Dragon itself. Yeah, I'm just having a really hard time deciding because every time I ditch one, I want the other. So I'm like, oh, for goodness sake. It's just really annoying. But yeah, it's down to personal preference really. 1 Glow Guardian for the Crybons plus, you know, whatever beast, and the 1 Lightning Chidori. I'm only running 1 rank 4, which might surprise people. Never make this. I'm actually considering cutting this for a 7. This thing, like, it's gorgeous, don't get me wrong, it's really nice, but I just never make it. Like, if you're making rank 4s, you're probably in a really bad game state. Like, I don't know, I just honestly don't find it very good, and I go for the 7s more than I go for the 4. So yeah. That's the gist of the deck. I'm quite aware this has a completely different extra deck lineup to pretty much everyone else, except the Chidori and the fusions. So tell me what you think. If you think this is terrible, then tell me why it's terrible, have a go at me, and feel good about yourself. But if you think it's pretty cool, if you think it's innovative and it's a bit fun, as opposed to the usual builds, which are just, you know, fusion, search, either win or lose consistency wise. And yeah, just tell me what you think, and thank you for watching. I really love this deck. I hope you give it a go. So see you later. Good luck, have fun.